guys, welcome back to my channel. Otherwise, if you're new here, I'm Celeste Angelica. Happy to have you here. So for today's video, we are doing a wedding guest makeup tutorial on this look that I created. I really like the way it turned out, and hopefully you guys do as well. This is perfect for any spring, summer weddings coming up, or any kind of special events where you have to get a little bit more dolled up. And I think it is so perfect for spring and summer. It's dewy, it's glowy, it's fresh, very radiant. I'm into it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with primer, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. You guys know how I feel about this. It is just a ride or die product. Now, honestly, in my opinion, if you don't have dry skin, you could probably skip primer or just use like a primer that isn't an oil. But if you have dry skin, this is going to be your best friend. It is just going to make your foundation apply evenly and not patchy, and it's going to make your foundation last a long time throughout the day. This is just the best primer in my opinion in regards to moisturization. Moving on to foundation, I'm actually going to be mixing two. This is the new Marc Jacobs foundation, the Shameless Youth. I have it in the shade Light Y270, and it is a perfect shade for those of you who are more yellow undertone. And then I'm going to be mixing that with a little bit of the Maybelline Dream Bronze BB cream. So I'm just going to use my little mixing palette. So first I'm going in and applying it with a flat foundation brush, and then I'll go in later with the Beauty Blender to smooth it all out. You just want to pounce it into the skin. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to have a little bit of a bronzy look, because it is spring and summertime, and a lot of times weddings are outdoors during spring and summer, or at least the receptions and festivities are, and so I want to have a little bit of a bronzy glow, but also it has sunscreen in it and SPF, and again, if the wedding is outside or the reception or anything, you want to be protecting your skin from the sun. So you can already see the dewiness that we got just from that base. It does look a little bit oily now, but that's just because of the primer oil underneath, but it does set in, so it won't look quite as greasy, but you'll still have that luminous, dewy look. Moving on to concealer, I'm also going to be using two. As I mentioned, we want to look fresh and dewy, and I think with that, you kind of want to look awake and crisp. So I'm going to be using a little bit of the YSL Touche Eclat, and I'm just going to use this right underneath where the bags are the darkest, just because this is more of a brightening cream rather than a concealer. And then over top of that, I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. It's very full coverage, very long wearing, and it doesn't crease, so this is just a love of mine. Then going in with the Beauty Blender, I'm just going to blend them all in together. You definitely want to make sure that your Beauty Blender is wet when you do this. Not wet, I should say damp, because it's going to blend in the concealer like never before. It's amazing when your Beauty Blender is just a little damp, and you're not going to have any creasing. It blends in seamlessly, and I just really like the finish that a damp Beauty Blender gives. Now, as far as setting the face, I would really only recommend setting the parts of your face that really need it. So for me, I'm going to be doing under my eyes and the T-zone, but I'm not setting the entire face, because if you think about it, using a mattifying powder is just going to lock it in and kind of diminish all of the luminosity that we just created. So I would recommend using as minimal powder as possible if you really want to have that glowy, dewy effect. So to set, I'm using a little bit of the Laura Mercier translucent powder, a tried and true. Need I say more? You guys already know. Okay, I think I'm going to do brows next, so I'm going to be using a little bit of the IT Cosmetics Brow Power. This is a universal brow pencil. Now this one is in the shade Taupe, so it's a little bit lighter than my eyebrows and a little bit more gray undertone, but I think that it'll still work okay for this look. But if not, we're just gonna move on anyways. So I'm just going to very gently fill them in and kind of create a natural brow look. We don't want anything too harsh. We want to look really soft and fresh for the wedding. To set the brows, I'm just going to be using a little bit of the Benefit Ready Set Brow. This is just a clear brow gel, and I think it works amazingly. It really holds each hair follicle in place really nicely, and it lasts all day long. For contour, I'm going to be using a little bit of the Tarteist Pro Glow palette. I have not tapped into this in a very long time. It is really messy, which is one of the downfalls about it, but the colors are stunning, the shades are amazing, and really nice quality. So, you know, you gotta pick and choose your battles. So I'm just going to be using the powder side called Sculpt, and I'm just going to be tapping my Marc Jacobs brush into that a little bit. I'm using a really light hand with feathery circular motions because I want this to just be a very gentle contour. As I mentioned, we want to look really dewy and fresh, so we don't want to take away from the dewiness and the brightness of our face. We just want a little soft color. For blush, I'm going to be using the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Exposed. Obviously, you can see why I'm using it. It's a very simple, neutral sort of blush shade. This is always a go-to product when I need a really simple flush of color. Moving on to eyes, I'm going to be taking a little bit of the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard, and I'm just going to use that on my eyelids just to sort of prime them. This is also going to help keep the eyeshadow in place. So for a little bit of dimension to the eyes, I'm going to be using the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm probably going just to use this one shade. I know it's silly to bring a whole palette out for one shade, but I was really drawn into this shade called Buon Fresco, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's sort of like a cool toned, purpley, pink, mauve-y, something or another. I think it's a really good crease shade, and just to sort of give your eyes a little bit of dimension, but not too crazy, it's not too vibrant, so it's not going to take away from the rest of the look, and I like it. So that's what we're going to tap into. I'm just using a little Morphe fluffy brush. A little bit goes a long way with these shadows. As you can see, I like to take it pretty high up towards the brow bone because I have really small eyes and very minimal lid space, so I feel like if I add a little bit of the crease shade a little bit higher than the crease, it sort of gives the illusion that my eyes are a little bigger than they are. And I'm going to focus the product a little bit more heavily in the outer V. Then for the star of the show, I'm going to be using the Pür Eye Polish. I have not used this in a hot minute, but it used to be a favorite of mine. It is such a cool product. I really don't have any other eyeshadow products like this. So it's basically like a creamy polish, as they call it, and it's just really like silky, satiny looking, and it's beautiful. This one is in the shade Satin. So I'm just using that applicator, and then I'll just go in with my fingers and sort of tap it into place. It's a pretty little rose gold sort of shade. I thought it would go good with these earrings. It's kind of similar to the new Glossier Lid Stars, if you've tried those. These came out a while back. You do have to work pretty quickly with this product though. It does dry down very quickly. I'm going to skip winged liner and everything like that. I feel like that's just a little bit too harsh for weddings in my opinion, but obviously you do you, girl. I mean, I probably have worn a winged eye to a wedding before, but right now my current mood is that it's a little too harsh. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of this brow pencil again, I think, and just sort of add a little bit of color down here just to open up my eyes a little bit more. And I think brown is a good color because black, again, a little harsh. Well, I've never used a brow pencil before for eyeliner, but there's a new day for everything. Moving on to mascara, I'm going to be using the Bad Gal Bang mascara from Benefit. You guys, bless this mascara. Seriously, if you have not tried it, please go to Ulta, go to Sephora, go online, pick this up. It's incredible. You will not regret it. It is just a miracle product. And I'm just gonna take my time applying the mascara because it really does make a difference if you go slow and let each bristle sort of dig between each lash. And I know my mascara applying face is not attractive by any means, but I really do like to blink. I think that the blinking method really lets it sort of grab onto each lash and really apply a nice coat. I mean, do you see the difference right now? Do you see it? Because I do. Incredible. One coat, bada boom, bada bang, we're done. Amazing. So honestly, you could just leave them like this and not even apply false lashes. And I mean, I think it's stunning. I just love this mascara. Seriously, it speaks volumes. You can see. Now, I don't have the packaging for these, so I'm unsure of which brand they are. If I remember or I can find it, I will definitely link it in the description box below for you guys. Believe it or not, this is the hardest part of the whole routine for me, is having the patience to wait for the lash glue to dry. 20 seconds? Who's got 20 seconds? I'm just saying. So as you can see, it just makes them really like fluffy and feminine and girly, and I really like them. They're definitely not for everyone because they are a bit more dramatic, but also you could cut them. There's tons of tutorials on how to sort of cut lashes and make them best for your sort of eye shape. We're all about the dewy, glowy, fresh look today. So for highlighter, I'm gonna start off with the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. These are in the shade Celestial. It's very like pearly, and a little goes a long way. So I just do a couple dots. You can blend it with your finger or a clean beauty blender, whatever you decide. Just make sure that you blend quickly because it does dry down very quickly. That is like the one con about this product. It's very pretty, but it dries down so fast. And lastly, to put a powder on top of the cream highlight, just to sort of accentuate it, I'm gonna be using this shade right here, which is Daydream. Again, we're sticking with the rose gold. I just think that rose gold is like a very soft, feminine color to wear to a wedding because I think pink is always probably a good, safe option. And you see how that just intensifies it? Oh, stunning. I love so much. And lastly for lips, I have a new lip combination that I am loving so much. I don't have a lipstick that has a shade like this, so I combined two different ones to create this color that I'm going to show you guys. So I'm starting off with the Jouer liquid lipstick. This is the lip cream in the shade Tawny Rose. But to me, this is like too dark, too pinky purpley, especially for this look. So I sort of toned it down and also lightened it up a little bit by using the shade Sand from the Dose of Colors. You guys, this shade creation, unreal. And there you have this really beautiful like pink nude sort of mix. I don't have any lipstick this shade and I really love it. So I thought I would share that with you guys. Now I wore this yesterday and it did not move. I ate, I drank, I wore it all day long and it did not move. So this is perfect for a wedding or sort of event because it is not gonna move and the color is beautiful and neutral enough and I just am in love with it. Now let's go ahead and set using the Prep and Prime Fix Plus from Marc. Let it dry and there you have it. I'm telling you guys, this look is so fresh and so dewy and glowy and perfect for a wedding or something like that if you are a guest going. If you are, I hope you have the best time ever. Weddings are so much fun. I'm thinking about doing a wedding series in the next few weeks here because my brother's wedding is coming up very soon in May and it's gonna be such a fun time and I'm so excited. So I'm thinking of doing like a little wedding series. So let me know if you guys would want to see that. I'm thinking about doing like a wedding guest sort of lookbook or outfit ideas, or also I'm thinking about doing like a bridal makeup tutorial, something like that. So let me know if you guys would enjoy seeing that in the comments down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed it and want to see more from me. It would mean so much to me, and click the bell notification so you don't miss out. And I think that's everything. So I think I'm just gonna catch you guys in the next one.